Welcome back out to Wagoner High School. Dan Lindblad with our FNL Player of the Week, the Wagoner punter, Witt Edwards. And, you know, I say that kind of jokingly, but you had 2 punts in that game that pinned him inside the 10-yard line that were pretty huge in the moment.
You know, it's punting is not something I've always done. You know, one day my coach just asked me, could you punt, you know, because I did everything from 7th and on. You know, I was the field goal kicker, everything, you know, so I just started punting. And then Friday night he just came up to me and he was like, we need some big punts right here. And he told me to get it in between the 10-yard line, and I did that, you know. And sometimes they'll go wild, but most of the time they're pretty big, good long punts for sure.
Which one is more difficult, a catch on a fade in the end zone or pinning somebody in the 10?
Probably the fade in the end zone, but not by a lot. You know, it could be difficult. You know, if you don't get a good punt, it could just change the whole rhythm of how your defense goes out there and how they feel and the momentum you got, and it can swing the momentum in a good way or a bad, for sure.
You're known for playing wide receiver, obviously, but you also play linebacker and off the edge and safety, tight end. You along with punting, you do everything for this team. What is it about football that you just can't get enough of it?
Man, you know, it's just it's a legal game to come out here and just pretty much humiliate people. You know what I mean? I mean, like on defense, just being able to play so many positions, you get to go down there and you get to be a big guy on the line, you know, and then you get to go cover and get some interceptions. You know, it's great to do either one. You know, I just like playing, honestly. You know, since I was a little kid, and my dad's coach, since I knew, you know, and running around on the football field and stuff, you see. You know, back where I'm from, you see everybody do everything, you know, do just like I did. You know, if there's a position, you raise your hand and try to get on it, you know. And the biggest part is, you know, just having the will, you know, like just being able to focus in and learn everything is probably the biggest part about that, is just learning every key to every position, for sure.
You had another big highlight when you jumped over a dude. Whenever you see somebody squaring up and you know he's going to go low, and you know you're going to jump over him, what's going through your mind?
Man, you know, I've never seen myself from outside of my person, like out of my eyes, you know, but when most people see me, they just tell me how big I am, you know. So when I think about me running at somebody, when I see him crash down, I think maybe I can get over him, you know. And there's been some people that have ankle grabbed me that's even smaller than that, but that guy, you know, I just thought about it and I was like, I might as well try and jump him, you know. And
if you have the athleticism, might as well use it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I do that stuff at practice every day. You know, that's all I try to work on is funky stuff. You know, that's the flashy stuff, and doing it in practice just helps so much. You know, I tried to do it today and almost flipped over a kid. You know, but it works in the game when I needed to, for sure.
It's just practice, man. Calm down a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, you know. You gotta still do your thing in practice, for sure. You know, I love practicing. Practice is where it's at.
I love it. Well, so obviously Friday, a big day for you too. You announced your commitment to Vanderbilt, and we were just talking a little bit before. Now that's kind of off your shoulders. You can focus on football, but why Vanderbilt? Why is that school the right one for you?
You know, Vanderbilt came to me early in my recruiting process, and they had a certain type of way going at it and looking at it. You know, I went on the official visit there, and it was a great time. They treated me well, and they put this image in my mind where they think I could play early and start as a true freshman and go play maybe both sides of the ball. You know, a couple packages on defense or something. You know, and they've really just put their best interest in me and showed me the most love, you know. And I've talked to a bunch of their coaches a lot of times, and more than often, you know, just not even about football all the time. And I've gained a really good relationship with them. And I think in this game, it's not really about the name of the football. You know, for some people it is, or the name of the college or the program. You know, I think it's just more about a relationship and what the coaches think you can do going on.
And we look at the SEC as the premier conference, right? And they're at OU Texas next year, and they're going to be, you know, the top conference. To be an SEC football player, when did you realize that you had the skill set to make this dream a reality?
You know, I've always been a big old kid, you know, real long and lanky, so I've not always had this control of my body, you know. But early on, I mean, my dad's told me since I was little, you know, you got gifts that not everybody's got, you know, and you need to use them the right way. And I've knew for a while, you know, but once I started getting all this love from colleges and getting a couple offers and them really breaking it down to how I fit into like a combine and where my stats are right now from a combine stat line and stuff, it really showed me like really stat-wise where I'm at and stuff, you know. And I think Man, you know, the start of this year with recruiting going up a lot, I think is what really showed me when I got a bunch of love and the coaches were just, on me about, my top four, every one of them said I could play any position I wanted to in college. They just want to get me on campus, So I think that's really kind of what set in that I think I could play a little bit of SEC ball and stick with them for sure.
And you play football, you wrestle too, right?
Yes, sir.
But I want to talk about your video. You rodeo, and you made that a big part of your video. Tell me about the rodeo background.
Man, I've rodeoed since I can remember. I grew up on a farm and a ranch. My grandma, she raced horses before I was born, and she's been to the NFR, which is like, the Super Bowl for rodeo, and, it's a big thing, and it's in Las Vegas, and, it's growing up, I used to watch rodeo on the TV, and I'd be riding the chair like it was a horse, That's all I used to do back in the day, and before I came here in 6th grade, I homeschooled and I was a rodeoer, and that's all. I love that part, it gets you away from. There's two sides of life, There's this side where you're always on a ranch, and there's a side where you can be on a football field, and it's two different places in the world, and I love being able to switch, and rodeoing, it could be solo, with my sport, my event is a solo event, and it really just gets you to where you can be by yourself, and really get time. I'll go out on the ranch and ride for hours without ever having to see a soul, and that's the best part about it, just you and a horse, Animals are, not everybody thinks this, but animals are a lot like humans, and especially horses, and they got their own mind, and they think the way you think, and, they got like feelings, and you could tell once you really get into them, for sure.
Did this, whenever you were being recruited, did this ever come up in conversations? And if so, what did the coaches think about it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most of them were just wild. Most of them don't know what it is, but it came up a lot. They love it. They don't know what it is, so they want to learn about it for sure. That's kind of what everybody wants to do, is ask questions. And I love talking about it because it's a big thing, but it's not huge. You know what I mean? And it can definitely grow. It has room to grow. So I try to tell as many people as I can. And man, almost every college love that part. They always want to talk about rodeo for sure. So
what is your rodeo event, I guess?
Well, I calf rope is a regular event, and then I do a couple more. I team rope, and then I used to do a little shoot dogging. But calf roping is what
shoot dogging.
Yeah. It's something called steer wrestling, but it's when you're younger you do it out of a chute instead of off the horse.
What do you like more, rodeo or football? Put you on the spot.
Rodeo. I love rodeo. Rodeo is a thing you can do for the rest of your life. Football, there's always going to be an end. But you can rodeo when you're, man, at 80, if you can step on the back of a horse and swing a rope, you can do it. So,
are you going to be doing rodeo when you're 80?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. That's something you could, like I said, do forever. So, that's all I want to do, for real, honestly. After football, that's where I'm going to go get a ranch and live on the ranch somewhere.
Okay, so let me get it straight. We got wrestling. We got punter, we got receiver, we got edge, we got safety, linebacker, and rodeoer.
And I wrestle, play golf.
Play golf too. Is there anything you haven't tried? Is there anything you can do?
I used to play baseball and run track, but I hurt my back one time, and I just I needed to take a break. So
and there's only 24 hours in a day, right?
I took a break, and then I just started rodeoing too much, and I picked rodeoing in the spring instead of doing a little bit of other stuff. So. Rodeo is my first love. I'd pick that over baseball any day. So.
Well, you are FNL Player of the Week on the football field. So, congratulations. That's with Edwards, Dan Lindblad. We'll be right back.